Salutations, normies. My name is Yort. For the very few of you that stuck around to the end of my very first video, you may remember how I mentioned that I was considering making a video all about analog horror hot takes. And even though pretty much no one asked for it, I'm doing it anyway. Mostly because I made a quote tweet, which you can see by following me on Twitter, link in the description, about some of my opinions. But because of the character limit on Twitter, I was inspired to make a full-fledged video. So let's skip the foreplay and get straight to it. Number 1! The Smile Tapes is overrated. The Watson Files is overrated. Harmony and Horror is overrated. Baddington's FNAF tapes are overrated. And the Mandela Catalog is overrated. I know that was a lot, so let me break it down for you. The Smile Tapes was just a goofy, spooky version of The Last of Us with a sprinkle of Mandela Catalog. The only two videos in the series which might not actually be part of the series are the last two, Open Wide and I Felt His Aura. The Watson Files has a unique art style, and that's pretty much it. Ever since I first saw what the animatronics look like, which was about 2 years ago mind you, I thought it was so stupid how these are supposed to entertain kids. It's not like these are withered versions either, because some of the cartoons show the characters with the Pixar mom hips and gray robot limbs. So that means these were the faces meant to entertain children. Obviously Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz had freaky looking animatronics, but given the fact that the former is still in business today, and there are old commercials with kids that seem to actually be having fun, clearly it wasn't that bad. But these motherfuckers are diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. Also, despite the artwork being really good for the series, the same cannot be said for the photoshopping. What the smoked brisket fresh hell is this? I like to see you do better. No, I can't. Can you? Martin probably could, and even if he couldn't, he should have gotten someone else to do it. Then there's the voice acting and dialogue.
This is kind of starting to make more sense to me. I mean, as much sense as something like this can make. Oh my god, I gotta take a deep breath. That was this. This just got so much deeper than I thought, and now I think I know what's happening. I recognize these faces, all of them. I know all of them.
What happened to my children? If anything happened to us, you must tell me. You haven't told me in 3 hours. I need to know what's going on. I'm trying to call you all night. What the hell is wrong with you? I've been trying to contact you all night. I've been calling everyone for you. But what the hell is wrong with you? 3 hours, you didn't call. I asked you to do one simple favor for me. I need to know, where are they?
But even if it weren't for all of that, I just don't find the story to be that interesting. It just feels like a more boring, yet admittedly less cluttered, version of FNAF. Hell, it actually took me a while to realize that this wasn't meant to take place in the FNAF universe. It's just a heavy inspiration. The only part of the story that I actually found horrifying was that Felix accidentally buried the kids alive after the car crash. That is the only part of the story that I find scary. Baddington. Oh boy, Baddington. He has made a total of 3 decent videos. Damn near everything he makes is over the top and repetitive. Harmony and Horror actually has a pretty interesting story that sets it apart from being just another FNAF-inspired series. But all of that is thrown out the window when almost every single episode feels like a void meme-style YouTube poop. Then there's the voice acting and dialogue.
Stop right there! Put your hands in the air! I said freeze!
No! No! No!
What? The dog, Martin. I don't understand. Don't play games with me, Martin. I told you to knock it off, but you did it anyway. Arthur, I think there's some sort of misunderstanding. Don't act stupid, Martin. The thing nearly killed me last night. Arthur, I told you it got hit by a car.
People pretend like his FNAF VHS remakes are better than the original versions, and no, they're not. The originals understood not just the VHS format, but also how to create simple yet effective horror. Meanwhile, the remakes feel more like shitty dark comedies rather than an actual immersive horror experience. Holy shit, you bit someone? Oh my god, thank you so much for telling me. I never would have been able to tell. The only good thing about the remakes are the designs. For as much shit as I give Baddington, these designs and the designs from Juniors are hands down the best fan designs ever made. They're so good that they actually stand with the animatronics from the original FNAF game, and I wouldn't blame you for saying that they're better. But unfortunately, these peak designs are completely wasted in what amounts to nothing more than a shitty, edgy fanfiction. The Mandela catalog has some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen up until recently. The format was incredibly unrealistic, even if they're supposed to be condensed catalogs. Not only did it jump all over the place, but some of the editing just does not seem like shit you'd see on a VHS tape, even with the fact that they're being corrupted by alternates. And then there's the voice acting and dialogue.
But the little guy passed away a few years ago.
Really? A freaking cat alternate? Shh.
How about 500 a night?
Oh, hell yeah!
Damn it!
Well, we don't gotta worry about income anymore, since we got this massive frickin' payday, right? I guess crime really does pay.
I like how you're making us out to be gangsters when all we did was, get all of this.
Volumes 3 and 4 are solid overall, but still have some jarring issues. Thorn Baker is not only one of the best actors in the series, but he provided several animated scenes in the series, all of which are some of the best moments in it. But he looks like this.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew you wanted me. I wish I knew. I wish I knew you wanted me.
Hey, this is not hard though.
Girl, what you do? Made a move, could've made a move. If I knew I'd be with you. Is it too late to pursue?
You're telling me a cop walked around like this? Why did they not just have him tie his hair up and take out the nose ring? Those two small things would have done wonders for this character. Even if he somehow looks exactly the same after 17 years of being stuck inside of his home, living with the constant looming threat of an alternate and PTSD from letting his close friend be killed, maybe he's just related to see an enemy. And even though I praised his performance seconds ago,
in the bottom of my stomach eats away at me like a cancer. The bellowing of broken parents. The cries of sisters asking where their brothers went, all drowned out by the humming of fluorescent lights. Missing persons reports stacked on top of each other like a mountain of grief.
Jesus Christ, man! Save some of that dihydrogen monoxide for some starving homeless people in third world countries. They're in pain, and so am I. Fortunately, the recent installments are a huge improvement in the series, so go ahead and check out this video to hear my thoughts on them. So to sum this first section up, the majority of the most popular analog horror series are more ridiculous than James Charles trying to get into the salty spittoon.
Number 2!
Local 58 is still the best analog horror series ever made, and most likely always will be. The only series that come close are Gemini Home Entertainment, and another series that I'll talk about in
Number 3!
Squimbus McRumor and Meme Bear are the only creators who have made good FNAF VHS content. Archive 1983 is okay, but everything else is more ridiculous than EDP trying to get a job as a middle school janitor. Speaking of whom, Squimbus McRipmus is a disgusting piece of shit, but their series is amazing. This goes back to how people think Baddington's remakes are somehow superior, even though I already explained why they're not. I also never understood why people were upset when Squimbus told Baddington to stop making remakes after the fake Martin Wallace death situation. Not only are the remakes bad, but it makes sense that Squimbus didn't want their name and work being associated with someone of questionable morality. How ironic.
Oh god, I just popped a blood vessel.
On a similar topic, Urban Spook series, The Painter, was genuinely really fucking good before the creator revealed how insensitive, exploitative, and honestly kind of creepy he is. People act like the series was never good to begin with just because they think the format is boring and lazy, but the reality is that the simplicity of it is part of what made it superior to most analog horror content. Because as I said before, most analog horror videos go over the top.
Oh, it's just a slideshow.
And these are meant to be corrupted police report tapes. There aren't many other ways it would be presented. The creator's past actions and statements, and the most recent episode, pretty much confirm that this series has no real substance or nuance like I thought it did back in its infancy. To further elaborate, back during the beginning of the series, I thought that it was inspired by The Exorcist 3, where a lot of the horror is delivered in a similar way, that being law enforcement describing the crime scenes so that the imagination can fill in the gaps. Because of this, I thought that not only the series took inspiration from this movie, but the killer did as well, because the killer in the movie views the acts of killing as art. So I thought that the killer in The Painter not only made artwork of the kills, but they viewed the acts of killing themselves as art, which is why they would do so many different bizarre, over-the-top, and disturbing methods of killing people. On top of that, in one of the episodes, they left a dog alive instead of killing it or torturing it or anything like that. So at the time, I thought that maybe this killer has a personal hatred towards humans, and he just wants to torture and defile them in any way that he possibly can. However, during the premiere of the episode titled Pigs, I asked Urban Spook, hey, have you seen The Exorcist 3? And he said no. And not just that, several animals are killed and tortured in that episode, so all my theories are just thrown out the window. I do think the first two episodes are genuinely really fucking good, but after the first two episodes, it's just edgy shit. Urban Spook and Squimpus McGrumer are degenerates that don't deserve support, but some of the videos they supply to this genre are absolutely peak. Oh, Jesus, is that you? So there you have it. My analog horror hot takes. I'm honestly interested in seeing people's reaction to this video, as I know a lot of these are pretty unpopular opinions. My next video is going to be a review on Ches Kids Archive. I'll definitely be covering some story, but like I did with my Mandela Catalog video, it'll be brief since I'll mostly be focusing on critiquing it. Let me know what else y'all would like to see me cover. I have a lot of ideas for future videos already, but I'm still interested in hearing what you guys want to see. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side.